the Bloodline versus RKO, which, number one, before we get into the match, why on earth has RKO, talking about Randy Orton's and Kevin Owens, not ever been a thing until right now?
I don't know. I love the fact that that's the peak creative for tag teams with Randy. Is yeah. RK Bro, RKO. Him and Edge was rated RKO. So like that, like that's the peak when it comes to Randy, because it's simple and it's easy and it makes sense.
Yep.
The t-shirts are awesome.
The t-shirts are great.
T-shirts are great. And this was I was very shocked that this started off the show. When the music hit and everything else.
Really? What would you have started the show with?
I thought we were going to start off with like a big babyface win, probably with I thought maybe the women's triple threat, possibly starting off with the women's tag, hitting Jade's music or Bianca's music to kick off the show. Hitting Kevin Owens' music is a big deal too.
Yes.
But doing where Nick Aldis comes out and turns it into a street fight, like no disqualification match, got me hyped. And from that point on, I was like, okay, this was the right decision. And it was the most chaotic feeling tag match I have ever seen in WWE, I feel like. It was all over the place, but it was wild and entertaining the entire time.
It made a whole lot of sense. Like, whenever I'm watching it and Aldis comes out and makes it a street fight, I'm like, why in the world wasn't this a street fight to begin with?
Yeah, for real.
Like, as crazy as it's been with KO getting busted open and drug out and all this other crazy stuff, like, why it wasn't a street fight to begin with, I don't know.
Well, I like the fact that they didn't make it a street fight, but the four guys just couldn't stand being in the ring together. So before the match even started, they were brawling. And I love the fact that Nick Aldis is like, we're still having this match, so let's just forget it. You guys want to have a fight? You guys want to go out there and have no rules?
Right.
Have at it. Have fun. And it made sense, and it was awesome.
It was fantastic. Like, it over-delivered. Not saying that these four guys couldn't deliver, or not saying that expectations were low or anything, but man, like, these guys put on a wild match. And it wasn't just that they needed the extra stuff or they needed the weapons or whatever, because the match itself was good without that stuff.
Yeah.
But that stuff just enhanced it, did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't a stipulation put on a match just to have a stipulation. It made sense.
And I think it did a great job of making Solo even more terrifying, but it did the same for Tama Tonga too.
It did.
There was that spot where Kevin Owens was in the corner and Tama Tonga was just giving it to him with that trash can lid.
Yes.
I mean, like, repeatedly.
Lots of...
over the head, like on the head, everything else.
Yes.
But also, it gave a lot of respect, I think, to WWE fans when he took the brain buster through the chairs at the same time, too. So I think it did what it was supposed to do. It made the Bloodline look like a threat without Roman. It's getting Roman over as a babyface already.
Yes.
And
this crowd going right along with everybody. We want Roman
from the beginning of the match.
Yep, from jump.
And then it made we'll talk about what happened at the end.
Yes.
Like, it made Solo and it made Tama Tonga feel like absolute threats.
Well, I think it was Corey Graves that made the comment. I think he and Cole went back and forth, but I think Graves initiated the comment about looking in Tama Tonga's eyes.
Yeah.
And you see nothing.
Yeah.
You see an abyss. You just see almost like death,
and
when you look in his eyes.
And they keep, not just for the Bloodline fact, they keep bringing up that he is Haku's son.
Yes.
Because that was Haku at the same time, too. Like,
yes,
he would mess you up for real, too. And if you're going to be his sons coming in the Bloodline, you've got to be the same way. And Tama Tonga started that off hot. It still did not really set in that I'm watching Tama Tonga on WWE TV until this.
Yes.
I'm like, this is a pay-per-view, and Tama Tonga is walking out here. Like, This makes no sense to me still. Like, how we've got him, how we've got Punk, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me how we got Cody at the same time too.
Right.
It's just all is a really, really wild experience right now.
It really is, and even more wild, they added his brother, Tonga Loa.
Yeah. The
Gorillas of Destiny in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was the one that debuted, not Jacob Fatu, man. Yeah. Oh, just as Roddy Piper would say, just when you think you have all the answers, I changed the questions.
He did.
Everybody, including us.
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu, nope. Tonga Loa, man.
I didn't even know his contract ran out. I don't even know when it ran out.
I don't think anybody did.
Like, it went quietly.
Yep.
This was the first, shock debut.
Yep.
I can remember in a while. Because, like, Tama Tonga, there had been some talk. Like, we knew his contract had run out in New Japan, and we knew he was going to show up either in WWE or AEW.
Yes.
Chicago, Survivor Series, there was a chance Punk showed up. Like, there's always a chance. This is the first one where he walked, like, when he showed up, I was shocked. Yes. Like, purely shocked that it was him. Because it took a minute. All I saw was a big dude. I was like, oh, it's Jacob Fatu. And then I looked, I'm like, that's not Jacob Fatu. Tonga Loa is here. That is absolutely wild. Gorillas of Destiny versus Usos when that happens is going to be amazing when that happens. Here's the question, though.
I hope it's the same question that I wrote down. Get ready.
When Jacob Fatu shows up, is he a face or is he a heel? What is he going to be? Because I've got two scenarios in my mind. Of he could come back, he could come in as a face and be a part with Roman.
Yes.
Or he could be on this new 2.0 Bloodline era, because the more I got to thinking about it, I would be shocked if Rock actually wrestled in a War Games match.
That's true.
So I could see him being ringside and the four being Solo, Jacob, and the Gorillas of Destiny versus Roman, Usos. I'm still holding out on Sami Zayn being the fourth guy. The fourth guy there. I don't know which way we're going right now, but it brings up the question of which way is he coming in.
You think that fourth guy is Cody Rhodes? I think Cody and Roman put it aside, and that way you fuel the Cody versus Rock
instead of Sammy. Do Cody? Yeah, you could. You could absolutely. Yeah, you could do that. Here's a wild one. What if it's like we just saw him? What if it's Cena?
Yeah.
What if it's Taker? I doubt it's those two. I would lean more towards Cody. Or maybe like not even Jimmy. Maybe Jimmy's
not back yet.
Or whatever. And you do Roman. I think if you're going to do the War Games, you need Jimmy and Jay together.
Yes, you do.
I think you could do that. Or they do 5-on-5 and you do Sammy and Cody.
Yep.
With The Rock, and Rock doesn't come in until the end, doesn't even do anything, just pins somebody and walks out, something like that. I don't know, but all I know is it did what it was supposed to do. It left us with answers, but then with more questions afterwards as well.
Well, here's another question. We're talking about the fourth man, or the fifth man, rather. Lance Anoa'i is another name out there.
Is that the other brother?
Uh-huh.
I thought there's four brothers in there.
That's not one of their brothers because he's in Anoa'i.
Anoa'i, that's right.
And that's Roman's side.
Jeez.
So
there's so many.
If we go down that rabbit hole,
is that Umaga's son?
That's in the Umaga.
Is it his son? I think it's his son.
Son or brother?
Nephew?
I don't remember.
Like that. I don't know. I know there's another Uso.
Yes,
but he doesn't wrestle.
Correct.
But he is the Uso that showed up on the episode of Raw with Mick Foley as Santa Claus or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
They always confuse. They always say it was Jay, but it was the third one that didn't actually wrestle. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many.
Yes.
People a part of this bloodline. It's turning in. It could turn into the new NWO if we're not careful. Of just
that's true. I thought about that today.
Adding more and more and more with nowhere to go.
Yep, I thought about that today.
But it makes sense right now while we're doing it because Solo's kind of establishing his side of it. It's difficult. It's going to become difficult with Roman not being on TV.
Yes.
To continue this without having him show up at some point.
I don't know, but you've got Paul Heyman who is here and is doing a masterful job, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Is doing a masterful job of playing Roman's part.
Yeah.
And keeping Roman's voice in it.
Yeah.
Without Roman being here. So I think that works.
Yeah.
Here's something really interesting that Sam Roberts brought up on his podcast. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it, episode that dropped today or not. But Sam suggested that in all of this turmoil in the Judgment Day, that Finn Balor splits away and that we don't necessarily have a direction for the OC and AJ Styles. So we have those four guys feud with the Bloodline, mainly because of the Bullet Club tie-ins with all of these guys.
Oh, with Tama Tonga, and I didn't even think about that. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, yeah.
Yes. So
plus, I mean, the backstage history of Paul Heyman and the OC and AJ Styles.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that.
Yes.
I mean that could be like I could see that being a SummerSlam direction.
Yep.
I feel like he doesn't need to be there the whole way, but I feel like between SummerSlam and Survivor Series, Roman has to show up.
I agree.
At some point.
I agree.
Not like a lot, but he has to show up to do something. We have to have a conversation with Paul and with him and with Solo.
Yep.
And possibly The Rock.
We have to get them together so that we can separate them if we are doing War Games.
Yeah.
And somehow get to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Whether that is Rock and Roman at WrestleMania, whether that's Roman Solo at WrestleMania, whichever direction we go in, we got to get there.
Yeah.
So I think you could do Cody Rock and Roman Solo both at the Rumble. And then you have Roman Rock at WrestleMania, Cody...
Seth,
Cody Gunther, Cody,
Ilya at this point.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Fill in the blank on that
Randy.
one.
I mean,
Randy.
You could do Cody Randy.